Okay, guys, Sam back with you here on Wednesday, October 10th. And by request, right, today we polled our Twitter followers, let them choose what was going to get reviewed here. So we just did a long one on Ripple. If you haven't had a chance to look at that, I would encourage you to do so. I'm trying not to get on such a rant here, but the same concepts. So just to review here, I said we're kind of going over the algo trading here and how to apply it on shorter term basis here, but we can't ignore the longer term. So, and I've shown this, I don't know how many times, many times here. So we're working off of this here. So here's the 50, and maybe this is a front run off target. Could be. All right. So there were several of them here. You know, we had this one here that went right to target, right? So there's the front run is to the tick, and then we bounce, and then you make the case that perhaps this is now as we come down to the next pivot. Right, which is what you're doing. You're always looking for what pivot did they use. That could be, right? Could be our low, right? So, you know, as far as an Elliott count, at this point, I don't even think it matters until we get something coming out of this that looks like we've got a motive wave, diagonal impulse, something. I don't really care what the Elliott count is. But so So the point I want to make here is that as this is down here, right, and we all love crypto, we all want to see it go. We're all anticipating that it's going to go. So we're looking, is that the low? Is that the low? Could it be going? Well, I think it's a difficult time to make that case here, right? So let me go from I've got the 4 hour here. Let me go to the 2 hour here. All right, so here's a fairly good example of what I'm trying to say. All right, when you bring up a chart, and if you can go from the top left corner of your screen to the bottom right corner of your screen, right? Do you really want to be looking for the longs there? Right? So I mean, it's so counter trend. I just don't understand unless you're trying to pick the low, which you just don't need to. There's just no need to be forcing a trade down here because you think I can't go much lower. Right, that's an investment. That's now you're thinking more fundamentally. Well, I believe in Ethereum long term, so we're down here. We got down to 160. That seems like that's a reasonable place that we've got accumulation. You can talk yourself into it, but technically, there's very little reason to be a buyer here. Right, really, like, why, again, I often will remind you, why do you don't need to pick the turn. You do not need, let something happen here, right? And get the first 50, right? It's something significant. You say, all right, man, I'm just a long wait. I'm tired of waiting. Okay, so let's focus on some shorter term stuff here. So let's go down to just to the this last little bit here. So if you're looking at this thinking, 165, I think that could be the low. All right, let's go down. Let's go to the 15 minute, see if we can make sense of this. Now, I went through this in great detail in the Ripple video, but I kind of do the same thing here on the assumption not everybody's going to watch both of them. All right, so let me just kind of scrunch this up here. And let's note here. So here, let's put this in context. Maybe I have to go to the 30 minute to do it. All right, so here's the last swing high before we go down. All right, so let's just bring that up here and open up the chart. All right, last swing high before we head down. So I've got something significant here. So what do we do? All right, swing high, what do we do? Golden zone. All right, so that has a target down here, right, at under 140. What do we 135 is that target. Now, as I will often remind you, just because that target is there doesn't mean that it ultimately must go there, right? We could certainly be breaking to the upside, right? I'd love to see it, but we can't ignore that algo play there. Okay, we'll see. Look here, it says swing high, swing low, and as I reminded you or I tried to make a point of demonstrating that when algos, they love this pattern. They love the ABC. As it comes down, that's the trade that often you'll find is very receptive, that you'll get a reaction there. So if in a series, so if you started here and you said, okay, swing high, swing low, we don't get there, we go here. Okay, well, we get between the 50 and the 618. So you're thinking, hey, maybe that's a 1-2 because that's the high probability zone for a 2 wave. Maybe I've got I probably dig some sort of a motive wave out of that. Maybe I've got a 1-2, 3 is going. Well, if it was going to make the 3, if we were going to get up to those upper targets of a 1618, of a true Elliott third wave impulsive structure, well, we didn't get there, right? We fell short. What did we run into? Right, we just ran into it. The algorithms here defending that. That's all. It's not rocket science. Okay, so now we look here and we say, okay, well, wait a minute. So this got to target. So from the buyers here, they got their target here, right? It looked like it was on its way to second target, ran into this, overwhelms it. Okay, so that's done. Now here's this pattern that I'm trying to show you. So when you're looking short term, okay, if this, let's take this off so you can see this better. All right, so you have, let me wick this. All right, so this was technical. All right, so that went to target. All right, so we had this swing. We go between the 50 and the 618. We get to target. Let me take this off as well. Okay, so then you're thinking in a series, we'd go from this swing, which we know is technical, to this swing. All right, well, it breaks, right, pretty substantially. Well, the point I was trying to make in that last video, and here I'll just kind of emphasize it again. Algos love this pattern. It's the ABC structure, and it could be, you know, it's not. I'm not trying to make the case here that this is some. I always forget that. Got to double click it. That this is some sort. It has to be parity, or you know, often you'll find 100%, 1272 will be if this is an ABC in the context of an Elliott count. But I want to leave the Elliott out of it here just for a minute. If this breaks here, okay, the first thing you have to do is go back a pivot. We go back one pivot. And that's often where you'll see the reaction. So let me get this out of here now. All right, so that little ABC pattern, we come down to, yes, we break the 50, but we get, again, right back into that zone where we're looking for participation from buy-side algorithms. All right, so that's the point I'm trying to make here is if it breaks on one, go back one pivot and check that. Often that will be where you'll see the reaction. Now, again, this doesn't mean that we must now go up and get that target. Right, so essentially we're torn between 2, 6, 1, 8. So if we construct that back together, just using this swing to my low here. So we've got a big fat range between two golden zones. That's where we are. And we're just going sideways. We're flatlining right in the middle of it. So you go, fuck, man, so what am I doing? So I just sit on my hands. Is there no trading? Where, you know, is there no opportunity? Well, of course, I'd be quick to tell you that if with crypto flatlining and very little volatility in here, no shortage of other asset classes to be trading that are infinitely easier to trade than crypto, at least at this moment in time. All right, so let's just think for a second here. Okay, so we're going sideways. Well, is there any trading in here? Well, you're going to have to reduce your horizon in terms of the size of the swings. But I'm going to go from the 30-minute. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. All right, and see, you'll often hear me talk about this, and again, this is not cherry-picked. I had no idea we were going to be looking at Ethereum on a 5-minute today. I'm just trying to make this point here. So Twitter followers choose this. I'll go, okay, all right. You'll often hear me talk about this algorithm being on every time frame, every asset class. It doesn't matter. It's always here. Now, when you lower the time frame here, you're going to have far more trades. You're also going to have far more stops. So go into this knowing that. But so again, let me... Right, so we've already, here, I'll show it here. So, right, so swing low, swing high, right, 618 gets target. Then we go here, we go to this one, right? So this one, ooh, that's interesting. So you get a slight break here off of this 618. So then you think, okay, maybe they're going to, that's the trend change. They come back the other direction. Here's the reaction at the 50. It pauses, comes down off of the 618, and it blows right through. Okay, so you've had one winner and 2 losers, it would appear, although don't forget the little ones here, right? Don't forget the little ones. Right, so you've got this one here, so we come to the 50. Front run on the target, maybe. Then you would be looking all the way back, and that's the one I just showed you, so we break. Okay, so what's happening now? Well, you've got multiple pivots to start with here. So you would certainly look here, right? So you'd certainly look here and say, how's that look? Well, that's a pretty good break. So you'd go back one. Still too good. Go all the way back. Right, it could be either one of these. I'd go to the dominant, right? So we're all the way back here. Let me get that right on that level. So here we are at the 50. Okay, so then you look here and say, well, is there, right? Remember, there's always an algo on the other side. So maybe I've got something here to deal with. Well, could be, well, let's look at them all. So we've got this one here. Well, I guess first one would be here. All right, so here, so this is the swing low. That's the reaction. We come back up into the golden zone. Remember, I'm on a 5-minute chart. Target. Okay, so that's hit. So then we go from this is our, let me mark it so you can see it. So there's our technical pivot. All right, so now we're looking, coming back the other way. Okay, so we know this is technical. All right, so we're going to use from that. I'm going to go down here where I've got a decent level of movement. Okay, so again, so here, I'm trying to show you this alternating swing. So here's the little alternation that we get here. There's the little ABC pattern that algos like, right? So if the first one breaks, you want to see this little ABC. It's much like a diagonal. If you were thinking about a diagonal, if you had 1, 2, 3 of a diagonal, you're always looking for the 50 in the start of the 1 through the pivot of the third. We come back here, what do we do, right? So right to the 50, and we get 2 and 3. We actually get second target here. Now, you're thinking, okay, well, why is it stopped there? Right? So then this is the one I showed you. So we're over here. We're going all the way up to the high here, and we've run into this 50. We're in that zone between the 50 and the 618. You say, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. So there's plenty of trade opportunity here. But, okay, maybe that's just what's happening here. So let's just get, so here, let me go. Let's find something that I'm literally just randomly grabbing. I got to reset it. Maybe that's all it's going to give me here on a 5-minute. Let me go back to the 30-minute. I'm just trying to make this point here so you guys get this. If you're jonesing for trades, they happen to be on the short side, but if you're comfortable being long or short on both sides of the market, there's no shortage of trades. So here again, I'm just randomly grabbing and try and get something here that there's no possible way that I could have set this. Okay, so here that was the move up. All right, well all right, let's take this coming down. I don't even know where we are in the context of the whole thing. I'm just looking for a dominant pivot. Okay, so here's a good pivot. All right, so we'll go from the let me mark that here. So I need a line so I know where I am. Vertical line. Okay, so I'm just going to mark that pivot so I can find it when I go down to, let's go down to the 5-minute. All right, so bear with me, guys, maybe I can't do it on the 5. Maybe I'll do it on the 15. Can I see that pivot where it is? Looking way over here. Where are you? Jeez, I did go far. Did I? Where are you? Trying to find it. Did I go too far? Shit, maybe I did. Maybe I went way back here. Let me go to the 30-minute and try and find it. I wish that TradingView, if you mark it and then want to zoom on that spot, here it is. Okay, so I was just using this pivot here. All right, so I think what happens with TradingView is that if I mark it, then if I change the time frame, it's going to go to the hard right edge. Yeah, it does. So, all right, bear with me, guys. I'm going to get there. Trying to make a point here that I hope will help you, but bear with me as I deal with this. Oh, I see what's happening. It's not giving me enough data. All right, maybe I have to do it on the 30-minute. It doesn't matter. The same time frame doesn't matter. It's the same thing every time. All right, so here it is. Okay, so we'll do it here on the 30 minutes so I don't have to do that to you again. All right, so let me get rid of that. Okay, so what do we got here? All right, so here's a significant swing, right? So this looks like something was happening here. So, right off the bat here. So you got to look at that. It looks like that might be technical. That could be too deep, but let's look. Okay, so now guys, I randomly picked that, right? So I didn't mark this. I don't even know where we are here. So where are we here? So this is, what is this? January 18th. Okay, so again, just randomly picked it. All right, so there we go. All right, so you see it. So then you think, oh shit, man, made this. So how do we know that's an algorithm? It's not this. It's this. What happens at target? Okay, so you're saying, okay, maybe that thing's coming down from there. Wow, that was a pretty significant pivot. Well, was it technical relative to this? Well, you got to check them all. You look here and you think, okay, well, that broke. So now you're looking at that, and well, here's where a little Elliott wave can be helpful to you, because you might think, hey, that kind of looks like an ABC to me. That looks like maybe we've got an ABC going in. Well, that certainly could be a B wave, could be a second wave. What's interesting is that ultimately it gets to target. Makes you wonder, right? So why? It could be that they just ran into something here. So there's the first one coming down. So let me pull this off. All right, so if this were ABC and you think, okay, correction is in, maybe this is a B wave. So on a larger degree, maybe I've got something like this happening. Maybe that's my A wave, that's my B wave, and I'm coming down here. That could be my C wave. Well, let's break open that. Let me get that up a degree. Let's break open that C wave. Let's see what we find in here. So here's the first one. So you get the ABC. That's perfectly technical. So remember, right? So it was technical on the buy side. So here's the move, golden zone to target, right? So that's why we get up there. So it looks like there was a second one in the middle of it, right? So from right here to right here, right? So again, you got a second one here. That gets to second target. Right, so you've had back-to-back this one, chance to add, boom, up it goes, we get to target, look at that reactions, right? So now, that's where a little Elliott wave is helpful because we can look at that and all the Elliott is doing is trying to organize what's happening. Hey, that's a 3-wave counter trend. B wave, anywhere from the 50 to 786, maybe that's a B wave. All right, well, if that's a B wave, I'm anticipating the C coming down. All right, so let's look at that first pivot. Okay, swing high here, swing low. What do we do? Right, golden zone, again, these are randomly picked. So we get actually third target there. All right, well, let's wick that off and see if how that series is going to play. All right, so let's get rid of that. So here's our last technical pivot. All right, so down we go, a little 3-wave. You wonder, what do you wonder? What do you think might be there? All right, so there we go. So we come back here, we get to the 50, right, literally goes into the Vegas wave, to and through target. All right, so we pull down here, we come here, and we think, well, yeah, if it broke there, I'm going to go back one to check it, going back one. Right, so this was the one we'd been working from. We get a little break here, very slight break. But if I see that, then immediately I go back one and say, what are they using? Well, now, so this looks interesting, as in we had a little front run action here. Not enough, not enough. Maybe within that we run into something here. So it looks like perhaps we've got this. Right, so 618, 2 through, gets third target. How about coming back the other way? This looks like it's going to be too shallow, so you really don't have anything to right here. So now we're drawing from this low to this high. Right, come to the 50, hold, big break. Okay, so that is trend change with regards to on the buy side that confirms the downside. Where's target? There's target. So on the larger degree, so this is the advantage you might be getting into it because of something you see short term. But you look at all of these going on the way down, and don't lose track of the larger target that's still down there. So when they were selling up here at 976, I remember posting that video and people commenting going, "Oh, you are out of your mind. There is no way Ethereum is going down to 400." I think that was that. Yeah, 400 was that target. No way it's going down. No way. There's no possible way Ethereum could go that low. Right? It's again, I give you this for your own exercise. I mean, pull up any asset, futures, forex, equities, indexes, any crypto coin, you name it. Pull it up. Start on a 60-minute. Right? Be sure to check the longer term. But if you want since we're focused on short term, go down to the 15-minute. Just start doing algo pulls. It will literally blow your mind, right? And you'll start to understand why the large players in the markets use these, the ones that can afford to finance these kind of algorithms. Why do they use it, right? So they might take 2-3 stops in a row. Doesn't matter. Eventually, they will get on the right side of the market. Eventually, they will find that, and ultimately, so they have to break, right? So we're here back to where we are in real time. One of these is going to break. Has to break, right? I mean, it could take its sweet time. We could flatline here right in the middle of it. But eventually one of them's going to break, right? Bulls or bears are going to win or take control of the market. Well, who decides that? Well, right, we got to wait, right? We don't have the muscle to make that happen. The volume, the size to go in there and push the market. So all we can do is just watch, well, shit, man, what the algos do last, right? Well, now, so is there a trade here? Not on the 30-minute. Not on the 30-minute, maybe on the 5-minute. Maybe on the 5-minute you find something down here. You think, okay, well, that looks kind of interesting. So maybe, right, because I'm dying to be a buyer in crypto, maybe I want to buy that. Well, you broke here. So if you bought that, you got stopped out. You need to think, oh, shit, man, I got stopped out. Okay, well, we're coming back the other way. Right, what do we have here? Well, I guess you'd start with this one. Here, nope. Nope, 38, get a reaction. So 2 stops in a row. So you're thinking, shit, man, I thought this was supposed to work. Well, it's a constant process of trying to find the algo. What did they use last? What did they use last? Well, this 50 seems to be dominant here. So let's open this up. Anything here? So I'm coming from this to my swing low. All right, so then I think I just showed you these. All right, so golden zone to target. All right, then we get a reaction. So, all right, back again. Here we go. All right, here's the 50. All right, so I guess the broader point I'm trying to make here, if crypto is just flatlining here on the larger degrees, there's still plenty of trades here on these smaller time frames. I would encourage you not to go down, to go below the 15-minute. You'll just have better reliability here on these swings. Algos love the 15-minute. They're all over this place. Again, I could randomly pick any section here and find 3 to 5 of these trades. They're always there, always, always, always. If you go down to the smaller time frames below the 15-minute, it's much more volatile. There's much more noise. So you're going to have far more trades. You're also going to have far more stops. So I would tell you 15 minutes and above. That's just my preference. But, as I said in the last video here, for me, particularly if you're on this shorter term trading where you're trying to, obviously you want to stay in the larger coins where you have liquidity and better volatility. So if you took the time, you could be simple about it. Take the top 10 coins by market cap. Right, or where's the volume, right, in those top 10 coins? What's on the move? Then go into that, right? But you've got to be just as comfortable being short as long, and I find that to be a real pain in the ass in crypto. I just find shorting to be a pain in the ass, which I rarely do it. Not that the trades aren't here. I just find the process to be kind of a pain in the ass, so I just don't do it. So just to remind you, this is here on every asset class. So you can go to any other asset class with the exception of crypto, and you want to be short, click. You want to be long, click. There is no, oh shit, man, I gotta borrow some Bitcoin from someone. What's the interest rate calculation? Okay, well, let me figure this out. Okay, so how much size can I trade relative to my account? What's my risk tolerance? Okay, 2% of 0.00786 Bitcoin. Oh, shit, how much is that in dollars? Why go through that? That's just a giant pain in the ass. By the time you've calculated all that, trade's likely come and gone. Right? Particularly if you're on the shorter time frames, you're below the 15-minute. Maybe you got time on the 15-minute, but you're down on a 5-minute. You better be quick to be able to pull that trigger. I just go, why deal with that headache? Right? Buy side, no problem. Love it. Easy. Great. Always looking for the buy side in crypto, right? It's just a matter of time before it goes. That's what longer term bulls will tell you. It's inevitable. But in the meantime, there's plenty of opportunity here. And then, of course, the other alternate is just get your head out of crypto, right? Crypto is flatlining. In the broadest sense of it, it's too soon to buy. It's too late to sell. So until we get something that starts moving and we get a decent motive wave on a 60-minute or above, it's the short-term little stuff here. Not that there isn't opportunity here. This was the point of me trying to show you this. There's plenty of opportunity here, but down here, far more trades, far more stops. Yeah, eventually you can get something that's a run. So if you look at something like this, just using this, you're like, man, all right, this Sam guy seems to, I kind of agree with what he's thinking, that selling's a pain in the ass. So I'm looking for buys. Well, they are there. Right? They are there. So you look at that and you think, shit, I don't know, this little 15-minute. Is there any money to be made here? Well, let's say you started at the 50. Let's get that opened up. All right, so we're a buyer at the 50, stops just on the other side of the 65. There's your target. So there's 4.56 to 1. If you're a buyer at the 50, you took a little heat. Didn't even get to the 618. Took a little heat. Interesting. Little structural support maybe. But so you look there and you go, okay, 4.56 to 1. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that, right? It's all just a matter of size. So what kind of size are you putting into that? If you caught that with some size, that's a hell of a payday, right? Not complicated. No Elliott wave involved at all. Swing high, swing low, right? Right where we're anticipating the reaction between the 50 and the 618. That's exactly where we get it to and through target. All All right, guys, I know it's frustrating for crypto traders in here right now, which is, why we're making a big effort to try and encourage you to consider other asset classes, right? I know we all want to be crypto heroes. We want to catch the low. It's going to go. I hear it all day, every day. But in the meantime, until that happens, so let's go all the way back to the 8 hour. Let's just go back down here, right? Really? Why? Why are you trying to pick the bottom? That's just no reason. Let's get something like this. Let's get something like that started. Then, right? So we know there will be, if we get a decent motive wave up here, right? Well, of course, what's that going to run into? Right? It's going to run into the 50 and the 6 one on the way back. But at least we'd have the foundation for the start of something. Because if we were to get that, right now I'm back here on an 8 hour, what is coming next? If we're going to get a true Elliott count, that's what's coming next. So you look at it and you think, let me get this clicked. Oh shit, man, I didn't get this. Well, the 2 is coming. The 2 will come. It will. All right. So, and then here's your buy zone. So you think, okay, well, I'm going to wait for this. All right. So what are your choices? So you wait for something like that and you think, oh shit, man, I didn't get the turn. Well, certainly there was an opportunity on the 2. Right, you had to be willing to take the risk that you had a good 2, which would be a function of, did I have a good motive wave in the 1? All right, so okay, great. I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that's going to retrace at least to the, well, no is the wrong word. The probabilities are high that given a motive wave, we're going to retrace at a minimum 50% of that to give us our second wave before we go into the third. It's not guaranteed. It's just what's probable. So you say, oh shit, I didn't buy it down here at 260. Well, if you got that move, and again, I'm purely hypothetical here, but if we got this move off of this low here from 160 and we went all the way up to 580, you're thinking, oh shit, man, I missed that whole move. Well, it's going to get cut in half. There will be the opportunity to buy the 50 on the way back. Then you've got, not only do you have an algorithm, but you're going to have size behind you, right? So those are the bigger dominant swings where you're going to have algo size to pushing that, right? At least working in your favor. Down here, oh, okay, maybe you get one on the 5 minute, but it's going to take profit. As we just showed you, those profits are going to be quick, and they're going to, while they can be, a percentage can be lucrative, can be a good trade for you. They're relatively short swings down here if we were to go back to the 15 minute from the 8 hour. This 5 wave sequence is what we're waiting for. And you don't need to pick the turn. You do not need to do it. You want to be conservative about it? Well, but look at it. That could be, right? So to get a move like that here on a larger time frame, like the 8 hour here, that could be spring of next year, of 2019, before that happens. Easily. So here's the question you got to ask yourself. So until crypto gives me a decent motive wave here on 4 hour, 8 hour, I'm on the sidelines. I'm just not trading. It's not an unreasonable approach to take. But if you want to get in there and sort of apply some of this skill set, you got a couple of choices. Either you go to the shorter time frame and deal with the issues of shorting crypto because the opportunities right currently are still on the short side. Either you're going to deal with that or you're going to move to another asset class. There's always something moving in FX. That's why we're really making a point of showing people how to trade in there. And again, you can, if you're holding Bitcoin, you can use your Bitcoin as much. You don't have to sell your Bitcoin, turn that into the currency of wherever you live, and then convert that into margin. You can use your Bitcoin for margin. Now, you could lose the Bitcoin, right? So I'm saying it's not that it's safe there, but you can use. The point being, you can get into other markets using the Bitcoin that you don't want to sell for margin, right? Shit, man, take 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever worth of Bitcoin, throw it push it over to an FX account. That's margin for you, so you can trade in there until you get some signs of life in crypto. We're just not there yet. But the point I'm trying to make is don't worry about missing the turn, because whatever happens here, there will be the 50%. There will be the retrace. If this is going to start a new trend and we're going to get a real bull run out of crypto, that's going to come in, that's going to create a 4, and there will be a 5. Right? So this is all potentially just still all yet to come. Right? That's what it'll look like. right? So we don't have anything close to the ingredients of that yet. So what's the risk, right? So if you just sit on your hands, you just sit, you're doing nothing. Well, you got some opportunity cost. So you make the case that, well, if I'm not trading, I can't lose any money. Well, that's true, no doubt about it. You're certainly not going to make any money. I guess the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is there is plenty of opportunity, despite the fact that we're now 10 months into bear market. If you need to trade, if you want to get in there and trade, it's there. Go down to the 15-minute. Plenty of opportunity down there. Just be prepared to be short and have that all figured out before you go into it, because there's going to be a lot more trading, a lot more short selling, as that's where the opportunity has been. So be prepared for that. All right, guys, I went long again here on both of these today. So anyway, right, I guess wrap it up here. Want to learn how to do this? We can help you. It's really not that hard. It's just combining it all so you can do it consistently and be fluid with it. So you don't have to ponder or check back to your notes. We're going to put you through such a rigorous training schedule and test you along the way that you're going to reach a point where this is fluid. Our goal is not to keep you as a member. Our goal is to get you to the point where you don't need anyone's counsel. That's the point of what we're doing. At some point, you're going to get this and go, I got it. Then you don't need to wonder. You don't need to ask, well, I'm a little sure. Do I have this right? Well, I saw that thing about a zigzag and a double combo. All that Elliott Wave stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of complexity there, and you can make it as complex or as simple as you'd like. Want to keep it simple? 5s and 3s. Simple as that. Right? So you're going to run into some trouble at times because it's not quite that simple. But the further out in time frame that you pull back, the more easily you'll be able to identify those 5s and 3s. It's all the noise that you run into at the smaller time frames that make it problematic, where you really have to have that skill set, right? If you're interested in it, again, it's certainly achievable. It's not that difficult. It's going to take some effort, but we can help you with it. Right? We'll make sure that you've got it. So again, as I like to say, we don't just dump you into a Discord and say, here's some videos, good luck. That's not what we do, right? We're going to make sure you've got it before you. So that's why we use the belt system, right? You can't pass your white belt. Well, we're not going to pass you just because we like you. We're not going to pass you until you pass. Can't get through the blue belt? We're not going to give it to you because you tried twice or 3 times. If you can't pass it, you can't pass it. We're going to keep failing you for your benefit, not for ours. All right, guys, you can always learn more. You can visit us over on our website, TradeDevils.com. There's a link right underneath. You can find us on Twitter. You can join our free Discord if you want to kind of get a sampling of what we're all about. Or you can write us. Got questions? Write us. All right, guys, I ran long today, but that'll be a wrap for the day. All right, see you later.